Well, I tend to look for a new director with each film. It's just interesting to work with fresh people, and I look for somebody who obviously likes the record. That does help, and by the time you finish making the record, you tend to look for some fresh energy to come in anyway, to get a different angle on it, and so I like to give the director plenty of room in which to work, and then I stick my oar in later, and say, well, that's a good idea, but what if this? And I like to get involved a little bit, especially if there are other people involved as well as myself on the screen. Sometimes it's a bit painful looking at one's own image in there, and that's why it's good doing Kiss and Tell, because there's so many different people in that. I enjoy other people's performance. I tend to prefer the kind of more performance type of video. The one we've done for this song we've used in Bright Lights Big City is Kiss and Tell is pretty much a performance thing with various sort of cameo starring artists. Not really at the moment. I think it's something I could, direct my talents towards, say. But there's something about the scale of making records that I like very much, where you can have kind of total control without becoming too unwieldy and not having so many people and so much money involved. And I hate it when art is kind of has the limitations of finance imposed on it, And I think with music it's just possible to do that. Of course, with a canvas and piece of charcoal or paintbrush, that's even cheaper, and therefore, very direct rendering of one's ideas or sensations or whatever. But with music, it's just possible to do that as well. With film, I think sometimes there are a lot of constraints, which I might find a trifle difficult. I've never fancied myself much as an actor, except when I was at school and I did some Shakespeare. I think some musicians do become very good actors, and to me it's a slightly different job, and I really enjoy making records. I don't think it's less interesting than acting at all, not to denigrate that profession. Yeah, I really do enjoy my work, and so I'm not really looking for any other employment at the moment. There's something about the pushing of one's personality to that degree, which I find slightly kind of sort of not sure about that for myself. I think with making music, you can stand back a little bit from the work that you create. You're creating something extra to yourself, if you see what I mean. And that's what I enjoy about it, I think. When I was planning my new album, I was interested in the idea of writing with some different people and looking for someone to produce the album with, and Pat Leonard was mentioned, and I met him. It worked out very well. We wrote some songs together, and he co-produced the record. And he's a great musician, and great all-round talent, and as well, great in the studio as well as a very good player. And he'd done obviously a lot of great, very successful things with Madonna, of course. And he's working with a lot of people now. He's very good. I haven't been really touring much for the last 5 years, and I tend to feel that my best energy is spent in the studio, and that's where I like to work. And I think April, May, I'll be starting to get things into gear, as it were, and start the next record. I'm really looking forward to that. having spent the last couple of months sort of doing the rounds of advertising it, which can be interesting. But I'm sort of itching to get back to work, the real work really. So I should be starting in April, May, and finishing a couple of weeks later. I don't know. We'll see how long it takes.